the student presentations tool. This is again a Office of Distance Education webinar, and this is for the series of 2015-2016. Just so you know, the session is being recorded. All your audio has been disabled and it's muted just for respecting purposes. And then you can also view this at a later time. You can access it through the WCUPA Distance Education YouTube channel. And if you have any questions, please feel free to type them in the chat box at any time during the session, or you can email me after the session is over, and I'll be glad to answer any questions. So just a little bit about me. The webinar is basically just going to provide an overview of several presentation tools for your students so they can use them to create online or face-to-face presentations. Also, you know, I just want to talk a little bit about me. I'm an instructional designer here in the Office of Distance Education. My email is lgaughan@wcupa.edu. My extension is 3561, and I'm located over in Wayne Hall, room 328. So feel free to stop in if you have any questions, email me, give me a call, and I'm available to answer any questions. So today I'm just going to touch on some of these easy, free tools that are available here at Westchester that students can use for their presentations. And if you're interested, you can also use these tools as an instructor. So I'm not going to go into too much detail on how to use the tools, but rather just go into presenting these tools for you to give you an idea of what's out there. So why not reverse the effect and have the students present engaging presentations to their peers? And also by having the students create these presentations, you're allowing those different tools to interact with the content. So they're able to the students allowed to interact with the content as well. And so they're learning in that respect also. So moving along here, I just have a poll, and if you can, just on the screen here, make sure I can find the right one. How many of you are requiring your students to give presentations? So you may or may not give presentations to any of your students during the semester at all, but 9 out of 10 times we are having our students deliver presentations. So if you can go ahead and answer the poll that's right there on the screen. So like I said, pretty much everyone at some point or another, you will probably have your students give a presentation, whether it's in the beginning of the semester, at the end of the semester, or whether it's just a 5-minute or 2 to 3-minute presentation. Most of the times you're requiring your students to give some type of presentation. And also, when they give, those presentations, are your students using anything other than PowerPoint? And here's the poll for that as well, if you want to go ahead and answer that. So students are usually using tools other than PowerPoint, or most of them are using PowerPoint based on this poll and on the results here. But most likely, and most of the students have access to PowerPoint. So most of the students use PowerPoint. And a lot of times our instructors are using PowerPoint, so it's just them seeing the instructor use PowerPoint, so they'll use PowerPoint as well. So I just want to touch a little bit on 3 different types of online presentations that we have, or are most common anyway. And one is online slide decks, 2 is narrated audio presentations, and the third is interactive video presentations. So online presentations can be in several different forms. And in many presentations, slides are just the start. So those online slide decks are just a start. But now you can add in audio, you can add in video, web pages, photos, or images, video clips, forms, links, and you can even now integrate social media feeds into a single interactive presentation platform. So I just want to review these 3 different types of presentations that are often used today. And these are online presentations, and oftentimes you might see some of these in a face-to-face environment as well. So the first one, online slide decks. These are the most widely used and most sophisticated online presentation mediums. These are just using slide platforms such as PowerPoint. Or another one that's been often used nowadays is SlideShare. So you upload this PowerPoint into SlideShare and it just goes slide by slide. So this is essentially kind of, the SlideShare is kind of the YouTube for presentation decks. So this is the most common one. It's the most widely used, is that online slide deck where you go from slide to slide. And the next one that I mentioned was the narrated audio presentation. So this is basically now upgrading those slide decks. You're adding in that synchronized audio narration to those presentation slides, which represents a step up, like I said, from the online slide from slide. And a lot of faculty at Westchester here use this type of online presentation, and they'll create their online lectures using this. So when your students see this, they kind of will mimic that same type of presentation. So this is basically just taking a PowerPoint and adding in that narrative voiceover. So although this still has that slide-to-slide effect, it's pretty remarkable what a difference just adding in that audio or that voiceover can make. And the last one is the interactive video presentation, and this is what we're going to spend a little bit more time on today and talk about this type of presentation today. So as engaging as the audio narrated presentations can be, nothing compares to that total multimedia experience that the instructor or even the students can add to the presentation. So it's taking all of those storyteller communication tools, from facial expressions to adding in gestures, to even adding in props to these presentations. And props not just meaning something like, just a hat or something that they might add into this video, but using the props of the different formats and the different software that's out there. But making these interactions live with an audience and putting on that full display of a video presentation just makes the presentation that much more engaging. And by adding in all of these different effects, the video presentations just are more visually interesting and engaging, and they can convey authority or expertise and make that personal connection in a way that you might not get that across, and you can kind of relate to the presentation and have that emotion. And by doing that, you might not get that in just an audio narrated presentation, or you definitely won't get that in the slide to slide or the online slide deck type of presentation. So each type of the online presentations, though, do have their strengths and they do have their benefits. Therefore, the content kind of needs to determine which presentation you're going to use or the student is going to use. So you may just, depending on the content, the online slide deck may be the best one to use. So it's kind of the content is going to determine and drive which presentation you're going to use. But the difference among the three types is the richness and adding in that media experience and the level of interactivity that's offered to the viewer. So since most of us use that slide or online slide deck, or we also use that audio narrative presentation where you're using the PowerPoint with that voiceover, I want to spend a little more time on this category today and just talk about some of the tools that some of you as instructors can use, but also you can have the students go in and use and check out these tools as well. So the first one here, and this is a little bit of a blurry image, but I wanted to get across to you some things that you can use within this tool, and this is Office Mix. And Office Mix is a Windows PC only. It's free, but it's only if you have PowerPoint 2013 already installed on your computer. But it is a powerful tool that makes the e-learning and sharing of presentations simple. And it allows for the students to add in that audio and video narration. It allows for the real-time digital inking. And you can see that by what I mean by that, and you can see that in the image here, is that it allows you to use the pen tool to circle things, to highlight certain things that are on the screen as it's recording. And so the screen recordings allow you to show actions that are taking place on your computer screen. And it also allows you to integrate quizzes and polls. And that might not be something that students might get too far into much detail, but it is something that they can put into their presentation. So it allows for that engagement and it allows for the students to have that interaction with not only the tool but with their audience as well. And then one more thing that Mix allows for students is to create simulations and, like I said, those videos, but it also allows for live web pages. And we can go into more detail on all these tools and how to exactly do that, but this is a great tool and it's easy and it's out there for students and it's free. And we do have Office 2013 here at Westchester, so all of your students should have access to this Office Mix. And the next one, which is more of a common presentation tool that I'm sure most of you probably have heard, and this is Prezi. And this is a tool that can be used as an alternative to PowerPoint. Instead of slides, it has a large canvas that allows you to pan in and zoom out and zoom in, and various parts of the canvas can emphasize the ideas that are being presented. This is, like I said, a common tool that seems to be pretty popular. And like it says here on the screen, it's more dynamic. It's better suited to the digital age, our millennial generation that we have coming up now. And it also lives in the cloud, which is great that you can access it and you don't have to bring that USB everywhere you go. You don't have to email it back and forth. You can share this presentation if you're working within a collaborative group. Your audience can just get a better feel for the presentation overview rather than you can see it as a whole and then zoom in to particular, I don't want to say slides, but areas within that large canvas. And like I said, there's over 40 million people are using it. It's one of the common alternatives to PowerPoint. And this is a great tool. So next is MoveNote, and pardon my image there. It's whatever. But MoveNote is also another free tool, and it allows you to record presentations quickly and easily. And I kind of took this type of screenshot here because you're given the option to have your camera on and off, and you can see up in the right-hand corner, it has that video camera there. You can click that to turn the camera on or off. In this situation, I have the camera on, but it also allows you to add your slides. So once you have that PowerPoint created, you can easily upload those slides because, like I said, PowerPoint is one of the most commonly used presentation tools out there. So once you have that PowerPoint built, you can now make it a little bit more moving up in that presentation scale to the audio narrative, so make it a little bit more interactive. And the one thing good about MoveNote is that everything is shareable, and it's shareable by email or online. And again, this is also stored in the cloud. So you can send the link to the students. You can embed this, or the students can send you a link, or if they want to embed it into a discussion board post, they can also do that as well. And then the one thing that I like about MoveNote as well is that there's a statistics tool. So the students can see who's watched their tool, and also how many people have watched it. So that's a great kind of way to see if people are watching their videos. And then another thing that students might use MoveNote for is longer presentations. There's not a time limit on this, although to be aware with any video type of tool that you use, the longer the presentation, the longer it takes to upload somewhere, and the longer it takes to render. So keep in mind when you have your students doing these video presentations that when they are doing them, that they're not going into 20-30-minute videos. And of course, that kind of, like, instructors, we like to chunk out our videos. You may want to recommend your students to do the same. But this is a great tool to use for asynchronous sessions. If you have students taking or doing presentations in asynchronous sessions, this is a great tool for them to upload their PowerPoint and then record, and it's a great tool for students to share the link and have the other students watch at a later time. The next tool here is Novio, and Novio is very similar to the MoveNote tool, as in you upload your slides here, as you can see. In the last one, I didn't upload the slides. I wanted to show you how easy it is to just add your slides. Here, it's basically the same thing. The one thing I do like about Novio that is good for instructors is Novio has a walkthrough. So you don't have to spend time walking your students through using the tool. It has the walkthrough there. And that's one thing about all of these presentation tools, is there's a great technical support behind all of them. So you don't have to take the time out of your class period to go through how to use all these tools. Their support system is great, that you can kind of recommend them go and teach themselves, so to speak. But with Novio, you can take the static of PowerPoint slides to a new level, and the audio presentations can be accessed at any time or on demand, or shared with others, again, through email or social media, or it can be embedded. So this tool is, again, free for the basic version, and it's easy to create. You can track and share the multimedia content, and this tool is mobile friendly, so that's a great thing for the students as well, if they have tablets or they just want to record something quick from their mobile device. But again, like I said, this has great customer service, and that's a great thing for your students as well. It takes off the heat from you having to provide that customer service. You can have them go to the tool and use a tool for the customer service. The next one is Screencast-O-Matic. And this is also, again, free. All these tools are free, and this tool can be used to create and share screen recordings. It also is an easy and free tool to use. All these tools are so easy, and you'd be surprised in how easy they are. This free version does have a 15-minute max of a recording. So you can only record up to 15 minutes. But it does have the screen and the webcam for recording, so you can turn on both, which allows the option, do have the option to turn off the webcam like the Move Note had that, and Novio also has that. But this allows you to publish your videos directly to YouTube, or you can save them to your computer and share them via email or cloud services as well. And this is a good presentation tool, having that 15-minute cap. It allows the students to only go up to 15 minutes. So I think that's nice. It kind of keeps them focused on the 15 minutes. And the next one that's very similar to Screencast-O-Matic is Jing by TechSmith. And if you're familiar with TechSmith, Snagit and Camtasia are also TechSmith products as well. And you can see on here that Jing allows you to capture anything you see on your computer screen, such as an image or a short video that lets you share it instantly. Again, you can share it through cloud services. You can share it by email because it does allow you to download it and you can send it through email. Or students can sign up for a free account through TechSmith, which allows them to have an account where everything can be stored up there. So again, this is a product of TechSmith, and TechSmith has excellent customer service, and they also have a whole library of technical support pamphlets that the students can go through. So again, this takes the heat off the instructor from having to take that time and go through how to use the tool. The difference between Jing and Screencast-O-Matic is that Jing is only a 5-minute recording. So this is a great tool if you have the students doing a quick presentation. They can walk through their presentation for 2 to 3 minutes, and this again keeps them focused and only allows them for 5 minutes. But what really separates this from Screencast-O-Matic is that there is no webcam feature here. So the students are just recording what is on their screen. It doesn't allow for that video of their face. So there's no webcam option when they're recording a short presentation. And it also allows you to mark up the images. You can see on the image to the right, you can add captions, you can add in arrows, you can highlight certain areas of an image. So this, can be used in that respect as well. But another thing about this too is students can take a screenshot of something, mark it up, and then implement and save the image and then implement this into a PowerPoint. So if there's something they want to call out on a certain image, they can do that, but use this to call it out and save it and then upload it into their PowerPoint. So this can be used and integrated into their PowerPoints as well. And again, as I mentioned, it's easy to save to your computer or upload to cloud services as well. So at this point, does anybody have any questions? So these are just a few tools that your students can use, and they're easy and they have easy access to. They're easy to use and they're fairly easy to learn if they don't know how to use them. Like I said, all these tools have great customer support, so that takes away from you having to give that instruction to the students and spend maybe 20 minutes of your class time going through how to use these tools. You can send them to the tool support service, and they can either contact them and learn the tool, or they can go through the tools. Some of them have videos on how to use the tool, or they can go through the library of PDFs, which have a whole set of how to use the tool as well. But I do realize that that is probably one of the biggest struggles that instructors do face is having to take that time and go through the tool, and even taking the time to go through the tool, learning it themselves, and then having to take the time to teach the students. That's one of the biggest struggle. But do understand that these tools have that technical support, and they have that assistance there for you and for the students. So um, always recommend and suggest that the learners go and read and review and take a look at some of that technical support, or those PDFs, or looking at the frequently asked questions and some of the blogs that are there on the tools, and get familiar with them before you recommend having the students use them. That's kind of something that you can do. So believe it or not, a lot of these are common tools that are out there, and some of your students may already be using them in other classes. So just suggesting them is not a bad, idea. And then also, some of your students may want to use them or may not be familiar and may be able to pick them up quicker. So if anyone doesn't have any more questions at this time, I'd like to just share some of the other upcoming webinars that we have over the next month or so. And again, all of these webinars are 100% online. They're offered every Friday at 11 a.m. for 45 minutes or so, and then maybe a little bit more for questions. But if you are interested, you can contact Pat Brander, and her email is pbrander@wcupa.edu. And so next week we have tips for creating quality online videos. And that just kind of goes into a little bit more for creating those quality videos. And then after that is video effects that engage students, and we go into a little bit more detail about some of the effects that you can add into your videos. And then on 318, we have beyond PowerPoint capture or other tools to use. So some of these tools may be presented again, but these are more from the instructor perspective. And then on 325, we talk about VoiceThread. And then on 4.1, we have Go Animate Yourself, and that's getting started with the Go Animate tool that we do have available for you here at Westchester. And again, these are all subject to change. As of right now, I believe these are probably set in stone, but some of them may change, or some of the dates may be switched around. And I thank you all for coming. And again, please contact any one of us instructional designers here in the Office of Distance Education. We are open to helping you with anything you may need. And there is a list of all of our instructional designers. We have Mark Drum, Lindsay Gaughan, and Tom Pantazes. And there are listings there of the colleges in whom we help, but please do note that we are just the contact and the face for that college. We do work with faculty from all different colleges. And our extensions and our emails are listed there. Also, please do know that we have extended support hours here in the Office of Distance Education, and that extension is 3373, and those extended support hours run from Monday through Thursday, 4:30 p.m. to 10 o'clock p.m., and Sunday 12 o'clock p.m. to 8 o'clock p.m. And if you have any questions in regards to after-hour support or anything in regards to distance ed in general, you can email us at distanceed@wcupa.edu. And so that's really all I have for today. Again, please feel free to reach out to us for any distance ed needs that you may have. And I thank you again for coming, and enjoy your weekend and have a fabulous rest of your Friday.